The moment my daughter froze in that stranger's arms, I felt something inside me crack. It wasn't just the way she hugged her, tight, desperate, like she'd found something she'd been searching for her whole life. It was what came after. The whisper. "It's not possible." Those 3 words turned a simple afternoon in the park into the beginning of something I wasn't ready to face. It had been 3 years since my wife, Alina, passed away. 3 years of learning how to braid hair with shaky fingers. 3 years of bedtime stories where my voice broke halfway through. 3 years of pretending I was strong enough for both of us. My daughter, Hania, had been only 4 when it happened. Too young to fully understand loss, but old enough to feel its weight. She stopped asking when her mother would come back after the first year. Instead, she started holding on to me tighter, as if afraid I might disappear too. That day, I took her to the park like I always did on Sundays. It was our routine, our small way of holding life together. She ran toward the swings, her laughter light and free. For a moment, I allowed myself to believe everything was okay. Until I saw her stop. There was a woman standing near the old oak tree. She wasn't doing anything unusual, just watching the children play. But something about her made Hania slow down, like she'd just recognized a face in a dream. Before I could call out, Hania walked straight to her. And then, she hugged her. Not a shy, childlike hug. It was full, certain, like she belonged there. I stood up immediately, my heart racing, ready to apologize for my daughter's suddenness. But I stopped when I saw the woman's face. She looked just as stunned as I felt. Her hands hovered in the air for a second before slowly wrapping around Hania, almost instinctively. Her eyes glistened, confusion and something deeper flickering across them. Then Hania whispered, "It's not possible." The woman stiffened. I rushed over. "I'm so sorry, she doesn't usually." But the woman shook her head, her voice trembling. "No, it's okay." Hania pulled back and stared at her face, studying every detail. "You look like my mama," she said softly. The words hit me like a punch to the chest. I quickly knelt beside her. "Hania, sweetheart." But I couldn't finish. Because she was right. Not exactly the same, but close enough to make your breath catch. The same eyes. The same gentle curve of the lips. Even the way she tilted her head, it was hauntingly familiar. The woman swallowed hard. "What's your name?" she asked Hania. "Hania." Her hand trembled as she brushed a strand of hair from Hania's face. "I'm Sarah." I felt something shift in the air. Something I couldn't explain. Over the next few weeks, we kept running into Sarah. At first, it felt like coincidence. Then it started to feel like something else. Hania grew attached to her quickly, too quickly. She would run to her the moment we arrived at the park, talking endlessly, laughing in a way I hadn't seen in years. Sarah, in turn, seemed drawn to her in a way that went beyond kindness. And me? I was caught between comfort and unease. There were moments when I caught Sarah looking at Hania with a strange intensity. Not just affection, but recognition. Like she was trying to remember something just out of reach. One evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky gold, I finally asked. "Have we met before?" I said. Sarah hesitated. "I don't think so." "You look," I paused, choosing my words carefully. "You look like someone I lost." Her eyes softened. "Your wife?" I nodded. She looked away, her expression tightening. "That must be hard." "It is," I admitted. "But this," I gestured between her and Hania, "this is confusing." Sarah exhaled slowly. "You're not the only one who's confused." A few days later, everything changed. Sarah called me, her voice shaking. "I need to tell you something," she said. "Can you meet me?" We sat in a quiet cafe, the kind where the world feels distant. She looked pale, like she hadn't slept. "I went to see a doctor," she began. "A neurologist." My chest tightened. "Why?" "I've been having gaps. Missing memories. Moments where something feels familiar, but I can't place it." I stayed silent, letting her continue. "They ran tests. Scans." She swallowed. "And they found evidence of a past trauma. A head injury." My pulse quickened. Sarah's eyes met mine. "They think I may have had amnesia." The word hung heavy between us. "What are you saying?" I asked, though part of me already knew. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small envelope. Inside were copies of medical reports, and something else. A photograph. My breath caught. It was Alina. My wife. Smiling, alive, radiant. I looked up at Sarah, my hands trembling. "Where did you get this?" "They found it in my belongings," she whispered. "Among things I couldn't remember owning." My mind raced, trying to piece together something that made sense. "You're saying," I couldn't finish. "I don't know what I'm saying," she said, her voice breaking. "But when your daughter hugged me, something inside me woke up." Tears welled in her eyes. And when she said I looked like her mother, it felt like the truth. The weeks that followed were a storm of tests, records, and painful discoveries. A car accident. 3 years ago. A woman found unconscious, with no identification. Severe memory loss. Declared missing, but never connected back to us. Because the body we buried was never properly identified. It had been a mistake. A tragic, irreversible mistake. Until now. The day we told Hania, I was more afraid than I had ever been. We sat her down gently, Sarah and I side by side. "Hania," I said softly, "do you remember how you said Sarah looks like Mama?" She nodded. I took a deep breath. What if she is Mama? Hania stared at us, her small face filled with confusion. Then she looked at Sarah. Really looked. Slowly, she stood up and walked toward her. Her tiny hands reached out, touching Sarah's face like she was confirming something her heart already knew. Tears rolled down Sarah's cheeks. "Baby," she whispered, the word slipping out naturally, effortlessly. And that was it. Hania threw her arms around her again, but this time, there was no hesitation. No doubt. Only certainty. Healing wasn't instant. Sarah didn't regain all her memories overnight. Some came back in fragments, laughter in the kitchen, lullabies in the dark, the feeling of holding Hania as a baby. Other memories never returned. But love? Love didn't need memory. It found its way back on its own. Sometimes life breaks you in ways you don't think you can survive. Sometimes it takes everything you love, and leaves you learning how to breathe again. But sometimes, just sometimes, it gives you a second chance in the most unexpected way. That day in the park, when my daughter whispered, "It's not possible." She was right. It wasn't. And yet, somehow, it was.